Good morning, pregame crew. How are ya? Hope you're doing well. We have a bounce overnight. I'll officially get started in 7 minutes. Between now and then, I'm going to do an audio visual check, say hello to my friends, and take a few chart requests. Hey, Shake, rattle, and roll. I hope you're okay. I don't think, did you go to Greece? Was it Greece last year? You went in Europe somewhere, I don't remember. And I was not jealous because that means I didn't want you there. I wanted you there. It just looked awesome. Hey, Magda, good morning. Good morning. We have a daily EQ setting up here on ES. NQ has a clearer EQ, equilibrium. We held key support on QQQ, and we held that daily 50 MA. That is super important, the daily 50 MA. Thank you, Shake. I appreciate it. And for those of you who have followed me for a while, you know that I call this a potential faux head and shoulders, meaning it's a fake head and shoulders with a potential bull flag on a higher time frame. So we have a potential bull flag here on QQQ. So if this daily head and shoulders has a bear break without a ton of follow through, we zoom out and look for that head and shoulders at the bull flag on the higher time frame. And we have that on NVIDIA as well. I may sneeze, apologize in advance. NVIDIA broke the head and shoulders bearish yesterday by $1.58. And that was a small bear break without follow through. So higher time frames always have more weight, and that's a potential monthly bull flag on NVIDIA. And we did not hold the daily 50 MA on NVIDIA. We are opening up slightly above it. We're not gapping up here on NVIDIA either. SPY is gapping up. QQQ is gapping up thanks to Apple and Google. We'll go over that. Yep, Greece. Yep. New roof in Greece. Well, I'm glad you got a good new roof ready for winter. Hey, Al. Good morning. Hey, Wonka. Sure, I can check. Zora. Good morning, Gary. Hey, taxi driver. Zora. I'm going to do Coinbase. So on Zora, we're looking for a weekly higher low. That's the more likely scenario. This daily got some lower lows without follow through, giving it falling wedge type behavior. On the 4-hour, we still have a downtrend. We're still being suppressed by the 4-hour 12 EMA. Weekly looking for a higher low. 4-hour got oversold back here, but that did not mark the weekly higher low. So bulls are not out of the woods yet. It's almost an inverse head and shoulders. It's wonky at best, but we would need to get over 79.79 to break that bull. Sorry about that. On the hourly, we do not have an uptrend. We need to get over 7639. Bulls need to set a quick higher low and get that trend change with follow through. So on the weekly, it looks fine. On the daily, we're struggling here at the daily 50 MA. And bulls are being suppressed by the 4-hour 12 EMA. Okay, Gary, RZLV. Nice volume. I don't know what this does. It says package software. Let me go back. Monthly lower high is more likely. We're testing the monthly 12 EMA overhead. Weekly is in an uptrend. Daily is in an uptrend. We're looking for a daily higher low. 4-hour 12 EMA is your bull guide. If you're in this bullish, I would stay in long as the 4-hour 12 EMA is holding. If you're in a swing, the 4-hour 12 EMA, I like to call it your spirit guide. As long as price is above that 12 EMA, if you use the 8 EMA, whichever, the 4 EMA, the 5 EMA, as long as price is trending above that, that is a good sign. 361 and 357 are key supports, resistance 380, 392. Again, looking for a daily high or low, but don't lose sight of this monthly. We are looking for a monthly low or high. BB. BB has a monthly equilibrium. Weekly, we're rejecting at the weekly 12 EMA. Daily, we rejected at the 200 MA. Daily, we got a slight downtrend. I'm sorry, my nose is just tingling, like I need to sneeze. 4-hour 12 EMA overhead. This isn't a good look. Let me show you. So here we got the daily higher high, daily higher low, and a quick higher high, lower low. Below the daily 12 EMA, below the 4-hour 12 EMA. Bulls need to get over 379. That's where we are right now. To set that daily lower low quickly. Again, daily 250 MA overhead doesn't look great. Top of the morning to you, Walter. We'll get started here in just a few seconds. Let me do IBM. IBM, I've been bearish on IBM. Let me show you why. We're looking for a weekly lower high. This is a classic potential weekly bear flag. And bear flag characteristics are you get little bull breaks without follow through. And see how we rejected at that daily 200 MA? We broke key support yesterday. 4-hour lower high is more likely. I like a top fish on IBM against 241.55. I've been sinking my short view on IBM for a few days now. So we got that little higher highs without follow through, gave rising wedge behavior at the daily 200 MA. We rejected, looking for a daily lower high. All right, let's get started. Good morning. Welcome to the pregame show. This is who I am. I'm Chart Gal Lori. If you want to give me a follow on X at Chart Gal Lori, I would appreciate it. What I do here on Wednesday mornings, I go over this market environment dossier table. And this is just a table where I collect evidence. My bachelor's degree is in business administration pre-law. I was a pretend lawyer. I ended up getting my master's in business administration, not a lawyer, but my parents would tell you otherwise. I sure do like to debate. But this is my attempt at creating evidence as to who has the edge. This just gives me a flavor for the day. And right now we have bulls set up pretty well on lower time frames. The hourly chart, they're set up pretty well. In some scenarios, we're looking for 4-hour lower highs, and a lot of scenarios, we're looking for 12-hour lower highs. On the economic calendar, we have JOLTS at 10 a.m. JOLTS is a key economic data point for Powell. He's commented on it several times. We have the Beige Book. Tomorrow, we have jobless claims. Again, I apologize for this allergy thing. Friday, we have non-farm payrolls. Tomorrow, we have ADP non-farm payrolls. And then Friday, we have non-farm payrolls without the ADP part. All right, let's look at the charts, looking at ES. So ES yesterday, we held this support. We held key daily support. Now, it does give rising wedge type behaviors where you're getting higher highs without a ton of follow through. We broke down from that, but we held key support and we held the daily 50 MA. I can't emphasize that enough. I think that's enough. Is that enough? Okay, that's enough. We held the daily 50 MA. We're inside yesterday's large range. On the 12-hour, we're looking for a lower high. We have enough room for a 12-hour higher low. This is the more likely scenario, is some type of equilibrium. You could actually look at selling an iron condor. And when you sell an iron condor, what you're doing is selling premium and saying, I think it's going to stay in this range. So you could look at an iron butterfly, which I like, and put this as the middle strike. Let's see, are we at the middle right now? Yep. 6447.50, we're at the middle. So you could do a range and say, okay, I'm going to sell this. You could look at selling an iron condor. And I'll do it on ES, which you can trade ES futures, or you could convert it to SPX. You could look at selling the 6450 call and the 6525 call, and selling the 6450 put and the 6375 put. You could look at something like that and then convert it to SPX, if you will. Let's see. So 6440. You could do it 60 points wide here. So that's just a thought. And that's my way of saying I think we're going to stay in this 12-hour range for a while. Looking at NQ, we have enough room for a 12-hour lower high on the next pullback. Lower high first and then higher low. So we could stay inside this range. So on QQQ, we have a daily equilibrium. Higher high, higher low, lower high, double bottom. And where did bulls defend yesterday? Did I emphasize it enough? Daily 50 MA. That's where we defended. QQQ. We defended the daily 50 MA and we held 558.84. If you were with me live yesterday morning, we were scouting higher. We were scouting a low compared to 558.54. Looking at NQ, we were looking for a daily higher low. 4-hour got oversold. When you have 4-hour oversold looking for a daily higher low and you have a key support nearby, that's an ideal area to look for that higher low and scout it. But again, a 12-hour lower high is more likely, so just be careful there. IWM is red this morning. It is not gapping up. It doesn't have the benefit of Apple and Google, which is a tailwind for ES and NQ right now. I appreciate you. Success. I was waiting for today to rub in that we beat Clemson. I'll try to get to DUOL. I will get to DUOL. A success. Thanks for the support. I appreciate it. Okay. So RTY, we are holding the daily 12 EMA. RTY is red this morning, but if you look at it, it's better positioned than ES. Look, ES is below the daily 12 EMA. NQ is below the daily 12 EMA. RTY is holding it. RTY is red. It's not gapping up, but on the daily, it looks good. The 4-hour 12 EMA is overhead, though. On the Dow, we have the 4-hour 12 EMA overhead. We lost our daily support here. We're inside this very large range. SMH came in guns blazing yesterday. We held this support. We were looking for a daily higher low, and guess what? That 4-hour got oversold. It was screaming to us, buy the dip. However, we are gapping up just by a smidge, by 33 cents. We'll see if we can hold it. But we are looking for a 4-hour lower high on semis. Remember, gap downs are typically for buying. Gap ups are typically for selling. Let's see if these gap ups are for selling, or does Apple and Google have staying power? VIX, we're in a 4-hour inside bar looking for a 4-hour higher low. So VIX is looking for a 4-hour lower high. However, on a bounce, looking for a 4-hour higher low. On a bounce, bears will be looking for a 4-hour lower high. If you were part of the room yesterday, I was pointing out that we were rejecting at the daily 200 MA yesterday on VIX. Hang Seng was red overnight. DAX is currently green. Bitcoin is green. Look at what Bitcoin could be creating here. We could be setting up for a daily inverse head and shoulders. Looking for a monthly higher low. This could be a monthly bull flag, not ideal with the upper wicks of profit taking, but looking for a monthly higher low with a potential daily inverse head and shoulders setting up. Ethereum is getting its bounce going. We have falling wedge behavior, tiny lower lows without follow through. We're on our second daily inside bar. 4-hour, we got over the 12 EMA, but we do not have a 4-hour trend change. We need to get over 441724. That is 4-hour resistance. You're not even able to talk junk. I'm so proud of LSU defense. All right, so the dollar, it was getting tiny lower lows here. Lower low without follow through. 4-hour is over the 12 EMA, but hourly is below the 12 EMA. Gold is taking advantage of this. Gold is on a tear. Look at this weekly squeeze. And if you've been part of TCG, Dan has been pointing out this tightening range on gold. And man, did it break bull in a big way. Remember, let me draw it in a better way. Take the magnet off. This is such a good base. The longer the base, the higher in space. The longer in place, the higher in space. This thing went sideways since April. April, June, July, August, 4 months. The longer the base, the higher in space. Gold is holding the hourly 12 EMA. 4-hour bull flag has resolved to the upside. Oil is down. OPEC is increasing production height. They're hiking production, and that created a down move on oil overnight. We have a 4-hour downtrend. A daily higher low is still possible compared to 62.95. We're inside yesterday's range. That news did not help gold. Nat gas, daily higher high. 4-hour squeeze firing long. Silver has a potential 12-hour bull flag here. It has not resolved to the upside like gold has in the last couple hours. Apple, hello, how you doing? Apple up almost 4%. Weekly bull flag confirmed. If you were with me live yesterday, I told you these exact words. There's nothing wrong with this chart. Weekly bull flag confirming bullish right now in pre-market, up 4%. Next resistance is 243.43. So we are not over the after hours high yesterday. We could be setting up a little cup and handle here on the hourly on Apple. Apple looks great. Gap up. Amazon is opening pretty flat. Amazon has a monthly squeeze developing. Be aware of that. On the weekly, we have an equilibrium. Higher high, higher low, lower high. We're looking for a higher low now here at the weekly 12 EMA. And look at this 3-day equilibrium. tightening up here with a squeeze on Amazon. So the gap overhead is 228.16. Bulls need to get over yesterday's high. We'll see if NQ starts getting that 12-hour lower high early on. Amazon could pull back. Bulls will be looking for an hourly higher low compared to yesterday's low. We have a lot of room. Dang it. We have a lot of room for higher lows compared to yesterday's low due to the size of the bounces. NVIDIA, we're not gapping up, but this was a potential daily head and shoulders that broke bear yesterday without follow through. Zoom out, potential monthly bull flag on the higher time frame. NVDA will be looking for a 4-hour lower high. Then can we get a higher low and trend change is the question. Tesla 4-hour lower high is more likely. We have a small gap up, gap rules apply. We defended the daily 50 MA. With this gap up, we're setting the daily higher low. Due to the size of this pullback, bears will be looking for a daily and a 4-hour lower high on Tesla. All right, Queen of the Mountain, ATAI. We're looking for a daily higher low at the daily 12 EMA. This is a psychedelic name. It has its trampoline setup. It's like a Nike swoosh. We have a squeeze. We have a tightening range. I like it for a potential long. Look at where we're holding RSI, 50.5. We're holding 50 RSI. ATI looks good. GDX and Google, I would keep on back burner watch. GDX is breaking out. We're at new all-time highs and we're gapping up. So blue sky breakout, keep it on back burner watch. Google, we're gapping up. We're up almost 7%. New all-time high. I would keep this one on back burner watch. The after hours high, 229.75. After hours low, 222.44. So we're gapping up pretty big. But remember, when we have these big moves, we can consolidate. Once we do start to consolidate, we can consolidate in time. That's sideways or down. So they have news. I would keep it on back burner watch. General Motors, this is a potential, whoa, that was ugly. Weekly cup and handle forming here, potential weekly bull flag. This looks good. Daily, we're looking for a higher low. 4-hour has a squeeze. I like GM for a long. Snow, we're looking for a daily higher low. And we have a little bit of an inverse head and shoulders here. I like Mara. This is a Queen of the Mountain runner-up. Nice daily high compression squeeze. RKLB has a daily squeeze. Daily higher low is set. UNH has a nice 4-hour squeeze. This looks great. IONQ. Daily squeeze, looking for a daily higher low. So RKLB, UNH, and IONQ, I like all three of those long. They have squeezes. Mara has a squeeze. It will likely follow Bitcoin, not necessarily. GDX and Google on back burner watch. GM, potential swing long. ATI squeeze. So lots of longs, and if you are looking for a short, IBM, again, potential weekly bear flag, daily 200 MA overhead. Game had a big day yesterday. We have this weekly tightening range. We broke bull by a smidge, and now we're gapping up. So we'll be looking for a daily higher low. Earnings next Tuesday on my mama's birthday. Looking for a 4-hour higher low on game. Gap rules apply, 23.41. Oop. 23.41 is yesterday's high. Bulls want to hold that. D-U-O-L. Duolingo. Looks pretty rough. Looking for a monthly high or low. Daily got oversold back here, and that didn't mark the monthly high or low. It looks rough. You're welcome. Yeah, hit that like button. You need level 2. If I'm trading small caps and I'm watching orders and big blocks, then I like to watch level 2. WRD. Nice weekly EQ. Daily is holding the 50 MA. We're gapping up by a penny. That one looks good. And this weekly EQ, holding that 884 support. You have enough room for an hourly high or low if you want to position within that weekly high or low. Hit that like button and give me a follow on X. And don't forget, we have tons of resources on chartguys.com. If you want to check us out, give me a follow on X at ChartGalLori. Check us out at chartguys.com. If you're just getting started with trading, don't spend a ton of money on different services. Use the free resources that are out there, and we have a ton on chartguys.com. Thank you for being here, and TCG members, I'll see y'all in 10 minutes and take you through the market open. Use stop losses.